Well, thanks for having me. So yeah, we're the startup. We're 40 people in Angel. We've been going for about 18 months, and I've been invited to tell you a little about what we're doing and why, as we're pretty much outsiders, I guess, of the publishing industry, but I think what we're doing might be really interesting to the publishing industry. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about that. So what is RefMe? Well, it's a reference management tool. I'm sure you all are familiar with things like EndNote, RefWorks, Mendeley. Where we're different is we focus on automating citations, and we focus on doing it accurately. And so traditional reference management tools, so the user, researcher, student has to spend a lot of time entering in the information manually. We do it all for them. Our goal is to make the world citable, absolutely everything. And we're doing that with a load of really cool technologies that really do make, our mission internally is to make everything citable in a click, which I'm sure for people who've written research papers, you remember the pain that you go through having to actually format and do all your citations. Well, we do it in a click. And the way we do that is we've got some really fun, simple products. So we've got an app, which I recommend you all download, and you just scan a book or a journal barcode, takes all the bibliographical metadata, cuts it up, creates a citation. We've got a web platform where you just put in a URL, DOI, ISBN, ISSN, whatever, you put it in, and it will generate a citation. And the way we've done that is we've built a load of sort of machine learning technologies that understand how websites are structured, how PDFs are structured. You can also do article search, search through Spotify. You can even cite a tweet if you'd like. We also have browser extensions. You press a button and it allows the researcher to generate a citation. So, oh yeah, and we've also built this, which for those who are familiar with like Facebook like buttons and Twitter tweet buttons, in fact some of our partners are in this room, we've built a cite button which sits in content and it allows the user to just press cite. It generates a citation. We support over 7,500 citation styles, and the user can then send it to their reference management tool of choice, whichever one they like. So how's it doing? Well, in the first 9 months, we grew faster than Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter did. We added 1 million users in 9 months, and we're forecast over the next 18 to 24 months to add 15 million users. And I think the reason for that is because my own experience of doing research at university, I discovered that these traditional reference management tools were a real pain in the arse to use. They were really difficult, huge learning curves. And we've made it really, really simple. And we've taken all the hard work away from researchers citing your content. There's some big challenges, though, in automating citations. Firstly, is metadata is really tough to work with, and I've heard just some of the conversations going on really sort of associate with that. Metadata is all over the place, and trying to understand the structure of different websites or sort of in PDFs, it's a nightmare. So we have to build a lot of technologies that try and understand their format. Identifiers are often wrong, and we find this because, of course, we monitor all of our user edits, and we sometimes do our own tests and go back and look and so, for instance, Crossref, a lot of the time we find that people are going back and having to make edits where hopefully we were hoping that this content would be accurate. And then more personally, we find that unfortunately we support 7,500 citation styles, and that's an ever-growing thing. Every student has their own citation style. So we found traditionally sort of publishers with content online would sort of offer 3 or 4 styles. Well, I mean, there's not that many in just one college at Oxford, for instance. You have to support thousands. But what's cool is if you start supporting for every student everywhere, it means that you start to get to link everybody's research journeys. So for us, our goal is about one-click citations, and that's what we do. But we think there's a lot of really cool information in mapping our citation data. And we think publishers should be really interested in making citations a one-click process or discovery tools a one-click process, because we think the future of the publishing industry is moving towards sort of usage and understanding who's actually using your content and building and providing the most suitable content for a researcher. but also it's about getting your content discovered, and we think that sits in our citation data. So, usage. I thought I picked out a reference from our database this morning. Like last week. And the great way of looking at it is this is what you collect from a citation. Just one simple citation. So you understand the title of the paper that the researcher is doing. You understand the publisher used. You understand the data was published. You understand the exact page that someone actually discovered in their research process. You get the annotation, because 9 times out of 10, someone's actually going to annotate it for you. You understand the quote that they found, or even the exact paragraph. You know the university they're at, and you know the course they're on. And also you understand the level of research that they're at. So what could you start to do with that? Well, I think that it means publishers get to start to know who their users actually are. You also get to start to know what researchers were actually looking for and what they discovered along their research journey. Ultimately, the great thing about a citation is it validates that someone actually used that piece of information. But the great thing also about a reference management tool is it captures everybody's research journey. So you also get to start to discover what they didn't use, which I think also importantly might help to start come back and help you and your editors create better content. So within usage, this is the type of information that sort of, new media type businesses are using to make the most relative information for people to discover. But also within discoverability, I think mapping citation data has a massive opportunity within this space. We think, and we've seen that the future of this industry is moving more and more towards open access, and I'm sure some would agree. But the future of actually discovering content is not in search. It's not just how good you are at typing for something. And that's because there's a couple of problems with search. And I mean, we're a heavy tech business, and we're sort of getting to understand the publisher industry, but we're following what people are doing in discoverability outside of the publisher space. So the problem is searching for content is ultimately broken. When you search for something, you'll get the nearest 40,000 results. There's this level of sort of serendipity as to how lucky you are, which location you're in, what Google's actually going to provide to you. And it also depends on how good you are at searching, how good you are at thinking of keywords to find stuff. Sure, you can start to set alerts, but again, we found that researchers tend to just find these annoying. So I found this great quote from Bashad Bazadi from last week, and he's the head of innovation for Google Search. And he said, "The future of search is to try to build the ultimate personal assistant." And I thought this is really interesting because the way that they're looking at search is about not going out to find information, it's about information coming to you. And so I almost wanted to change this quote for the sort of academic publisher space to say that the future of research is to try to build the ultimate personal research assistant. And I think you get that from citation data. So what they're saying is that instead of going out to find information, the information will find you through context of understanding who that person is, what situation they're in, what have they already discovered, what is the thing that they are ultimately going to try and find. And you do that by mapping user journeys, because someone somewhere else in the world will have already gone and discovered this piece of information that you're looking for. And the other thing is personal information, actually understanding who that user is. You know, are they a 5-year-old or are they a 50-year-old? Are they a researcher or are they an undergrad? And the great thing about citation data is, again, you very quickly get to capture all of this very quickly. It's a big issue for Google because you've got sort of European laws preventing personal data being shared, but at research it's very easy to capture and it seems pretty liberal. So I thought the best way to show this is what we've started to do, which is mapping our citation data. So we've got big, bold citations. So what you get every time someone creates a citation, so we've got sort of a big node over there, and from it we actually understand the very pinpoint piece of information that someone discovered in your content. We understand everything around the user. We know the institute, the level of study, the course they're on, we know the field that they're studying in. We also understand the original source, where did they actually discover this? Was it through a discovery tool? Was it through a Google search, Google Scholar search? Or was it even a physical book? We are able to map all of that. We also, of course, get the quote and the annotation. But most importantly, what we also get is this great link We get the citation to the citation. And it's like an element of collaborative filtering, but at this level, with capturing citations like this, we're talking sort of like RDF triple kind of semantic web, and it sits perfectly alongside the publishing industry. And for me, it sits in the future of being able to actually just discover information much quicker than sitting through a Google search or sitting through a library trying to find information. We can directly give you the exact piece of knowledge that you need right there and then, given the sort of scenario of your research to date and everything you've already discovered. So, yeah, that's our sort of very high-level take on what we think the publisher industry could do with our information, and we encourage you guys to try and help make your content more citable, because I think there's a lot of power in understanding what people can do with it. I really wanted to quickly also, just because Peter mentioned it earlier, link rot is a really, really, really big issue. We have people in our product constantly coming back to us saying, the thing that the URL I've just gone back to has disappeared. And it's like, no, it's not. It's just that the structure of that website has changed. What we do, though, is we actually capture. The great thing about an automated citation is you go to the piece of content, you look at it, you validate it, you understand how it's structured, and then we take a screenshot. And we capture absolutely everything. In fact, I think we've got nearly close to 20 million unique sources in our database. And it's becoming increasingly more and more of an issue as everybody's just citing online content, and the whole structure of the web is changing. So I would really encourage trying to help prevent this. Anyway, that's it. Very quick, brief. We love citations at RefMe. If you ever want to come and talk about citations and what you could learn through our data, we're more than happy to. It's my email, if anyone wants just to take it down, or tweet us, or check out the app or web platform. Brilliant. Thanks very much.